but let's do the intro again.
Oh, we want to do the intro again. Okay.
Just in case.
Take 2.
Hello everybody, my name is Okan.
My name is Clara.
And what are we doing today, Clara?
Today we have a very special video planned in that it is going to be our end of year wrap-up video where we are going to reflect on the experiences and just the new people and the new food and the new everything that we have experienced in these years of 2019, 2020.
And what's better than reflecting on our past year in such a beautiful environment, right?
Yes. Yeah, so this was actually the student housing that I lived in during my first year of university. I thought it was a very fitting place to do my 1-year reflection, sitting in the place where I sort of spent most of my time.
Yeah, perfect. Alright, so we prepared questions. We don't know what kind of questions we ask each other, but we mixed everything and we're gonna just randomly pick some questions and answer, and let's see how the year went by. It was good.
It was a good year. It was a little stranger than normal, but it was a good year. Who is going to choose the first question?
Ladies first.
Okay. Alright. Is the teaching different from what you were used to and what you expected? If so, how?
Right, so in my case it was a completely different experience due to the fact that I came from an University of Applied Sciences. I did my Bachelor at the University of Applied Sciences, and there we put a lot of emphasis on the practical side of the education. And when I came here to Radboud University, something that really stood out was how much research is involved in everything. So it's more on the theoretical part of education, where you study a lot of theories, you do a lot of research, but at the same time the beauty of it is that I did not genuinely expect was that there was also a practical side to the entire theory. You know, you have to prepare a business plan, consultancy plan, which was an interesting thing to see, that actually at the research university in the Netherlands as well, they are applying more on the practical side as well, so students would get experience and how actually it works in the real life. Alright, so I'll choose the question from the bottom, and it is, I think it's a question from you. What was the biggest challenge for you during the year in Nijmegen?
The biggest challenge for me, I would say, this doesn't really have to do with Nijmegen as much as it does like just living in a country where English isn't like the native language. I mean, obviously you can basically go up to anyone and start speaking English and they will understand you, but it does lead you to sort of like a lot of like difficult or challenging or just sort of uncomfortable conversations where you're just like, oh, this wouldn't be a problem if like everything was in English and English was the main thing. But also like that's a part of the reason why I came here, and like so then I could be exposed to a language that was not the native language. So it's like it's both the biggest challenge and also one of like the biggest pluses, because it's a challenge that you can overcome with like spending a lot more time.
And it teaches you actually how to adapt to new cultures and new languages where actually it might be difficult otherwise if you don't have this cultural experience.
Yeah. Like I remember my first like few months here, it's just like Dutch sounded so weird to me. I'm just like, what is this?
It's kind of an English with an accent.
I know, just like what is this strange fake language that everyone is saying? But now I'm here, I'm just like I can understand a lot what people are saying, which was sort of like one of my goals when I came here. Just like I want to be able to understand people, and now it's just like Dutch sounds really natural on my ears.
Alright, next question. What do friends mean to you here in a foreign country, Clara?
Yes. I've been thinking about this a lot lately because, like, basically all of the friends and all of the people here I did not know 1 year ago. Like, absolutely none of them. And the fact that I've built a social circle that, like, feels, like, really tight and, like, feels very, like, built up. And I know that if I have one thing, I can go to one person, and a different thing I can go to a different person for. So it's like, yeah, I think friends are really what make studying abroad like feel like home even when you're not there. So, and
I think the most beautiful thing is that you are on the same boat, so you are technically facing the same issues. You come probably alone to a new country where you would experience loneliness, and nobody wants to do that. So what happens is just students bond, and students start to spend more and more time together, right?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, and for me, it's almost a family. But like living in the Netherlands already for 5 years, I've realized that when you don't have a family, what you do, you build your own family
Yeah.
in a foreign country, and those are the most important people in your life, which
Yeah.
are your friends.
Like if I were to sum up your question in one word, I would say that friends mean home.
Home, yeah,
Home.
a very beautiful way to describe what friends
Maybe I
mean.
should be a poet. All right.
Well,
let's get through
yeah.
these questions. Yeah.
All right, that's your turn now. You can choose any.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Ooh, another one related to friendship. Have you met new friends? If so, what did you do to meet new people?
Ooh. Yeah, well, I definitely met a lot of people throughout the year, and it was from my study association, from my courses especially, and a very good friend of mine actually bonded in a library. In the library, we were studying and we were supporting each other, and I think that was the thing that really helped. How about you?
Yeah, I've met a lot of students like from my program, obviously from AI, just because we all go to the same classes
Yeah.
together, and we all just sort of like it's a large group of people, but it's still quite close knit. But I've also met a lot of people, like I am a part of a theater group. That was sort of a way that I wanted to do to meet people outside of the university, just because that was a thing I wanted to experience, not only the university perspective, but also sort of like surrounding international people just sort of living here in Nijmegen. So that was nice. Those are sort of my two main sources of friends.
Friendship.
The university and the theater group. I took dance classes for a while.
Oh yeah, the sports center actually is a
Yeah.
very nice way to make new friendships.
Yeah, if you want to know more about the sports center, you can check out our vlog.
Lovely. All right, so that's your turn
Three
now.
left. I'll take
Two.
one.
Or one. Okay, sure.
We can take, yeah, we can go. What was one thing that surprised you upon coming here? And could you remember what you expected this year to look like? Looking back, is it what you expected, and what is different?
Oh, right.
So these are basically the same questions.
Yeah.
Just like, what did you expect and what surprised you?
Well, what I expected was to have a very colorful student life in Nijmegen, with a lot of possibilities to work, to develop myself, meet people, relate, take part in different associations and organizations. And I would say that this was the reality was way above my expectations, in the sense like there were so many associations, especially during the introduction week when we had to go to the market, and we got introduced to all these organizations that we could have joined. I was impressed by the amount of organizations and available for students to join. That was a very humongous number of places and associations and organizations that you could join. And you know, the take-home message from this would be that make sure that when you come to study at Radboud University, don't only focus on studying solely the school part of it, but just get to know new things that are available for you. Like you joined the corps that you could sing, dance.
Yes.
And I joined study associations. Just go out there and be open to any other possibilities. Ask around, and because at the end of the day, if you don't ask, you don't know.
True.
Yeah.
What do you remember the most about the past year? I think that the one moment that I will remember the most will be turning 18 at the last day of intro. I was in Dornroja,
special moment.
which is the nightclub underneath this thingy, underneath the Thalia. And yeah, I turned 18 at midnight. I was like standing in line just around the corner, and I'm just like,
I'm legal, finally.
no, it was literally a coming of age moment.
So you could buy alcohol.
Yes.
You could buy drinks and cocktails and mimosas and everything.
Yeah, it was just like it was the beginning. I started my official adulthood here, which was fun.
Yeah, cool, nice. Let's see. So it's a very beautiful question. And what are your plans for the summer holidays?
I'm actually going to do an online internship this summer.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother helped me put me in contact with the company that he works for, and then I did some free labor for him. And then he said, if you solve this problem for me, I will help you get an internship, which isn't always like a feasible thing in your first year of university, but that was really cool.
I'm gonna do some small city trips in the Netherlands, visit some small city villages as well, and of course spend some time with my friends. And hopefully, if the situation gets better, I will be traveling for Bulgaria and potentially Turkey. So yeah, that's gonna be the summer. Not much planned, but it's gonna be as interesting as possible of a summer that I'll make for myself. Right, last question. Last question. So, do you see yourself living in the Netherlands for a longer period of time?
Ooh, a final question for a final answer. I, at the moment, don't know.
It's quite early for you.
Yeah,
as well.
It's quite early for me, but to be fair, me as a type of person, like I was thinking about studying abroad when I was in like 10th grade, so like 3 years before I actually graduated. That's just the type of like planner that I am.
It's the same for me. It was the same. 9th grade, I already knew that I was going to study overseas.
Yeah. So like at the moment, I don't like. I could always do a master's here, but then also part of me is just like, oh, now that I've gotten like just a little peek, I want to like go and explore more things. But like in terms of if there was a country where I would love to like study or work more, the Netherlands is definitely like not a bad experience. I think that if I were to leave, it would just be like in search of like more experiences like the one that I had here.
Yeah. And let's not forget the fact that actually the Dutch are the best non-native English speakers in the world. So that definitely adds up to the experience that you don't have to feel awkward that you cannot speak the language, because most of the Dutch people and most of the people who live in the Netherlands, they actually do speak English. Yeah.
All right. We're out of questions. We've done them all. Should we like throw them?
Let's throw them. One.
All right. 2, 3.
Oh my God, that's gonna be a lot of cleaning.